All right, we are live. Hello, good evening. Welcome back to another Hindu analysis session. Today is 7th of October. It's a new week, it's a Monday. How many of you are here with me today? If I'm audible, if I'm visible, can I get some responses in the chat box, please? Okay, Sharve is here, Mishika is here. Good evening, guys. Riddhi is here. Hello. Who else is here with us in today's session? Dhriti is here, Aradhana is here, Dev is here. Very good evening, guys. Dhriti is still in her afternoon. That's okay. All right. How is your preparation going, everyone? It's been a long time since we had our Hindu analysis. 2, 3 days. Long time no see. How are you guys doing? How's your preparation going? कैसा चल रहा है सबका हिसाब किताब तैयारी का? Aradhana is here, Dev is here, Nawab is here. Good evening, everyone. Very good evening. We'll start in just a few more seconds. Let more people join the stream. Till then, how is your preparation going? How is your GK preparation going, guys? Tell me in the chat box. Is it going good? Is it going perfect? Is it going exceptional? Is it going not as per expectations? What is the scene? Okay, they were saying mock scores are going down. Okay, make sure you do your analysis and figure out what is the cause behind that and then work on it. Good evening, Jasmeet. Riti saying slipped my mind that it's evening. Achhi baat hai ye to. You're so involved in your preparation that you have lost track of time. Mishika is saying marks are increasing, but percentile is still bad, so demotivated. That's okay. Take it in a positive manner that marks are increasing. Percentile would also increase with time. Just keep putting in consistent efforts. You would see the results. Kashish is here. Good evening. Okay. Should we start the session? It's 4:32. Should we start today's session? If you guys are ready to start today's class, can I get a ready in the chat box very quickly? Ready in the chat box, and then we'll start today's session. Ready, ready, ready. रिद्धि saying not up to expectations. ऐसा क्यों? ऐसा क्या हो गया कि expectations meet नहीं हो रही? Okay, everyone is ready. ठीक है, चलो start करते हैं. Let's start today's session. Today is 7th of October. It's a new week. It's a Monday, a new start. And I hope you guys have defined your weekly goals. With that being said, let's look at the agenda for today's session. Today's agenda is quite simple. We do not have a lot of new interesting topics in today's newspaper. So I could pick up 3 topics which we can discuss for today. First is Muhammad Muizzu meeting Modiji. He's on a visit to India. Who is Muhammad Muizzu? Can you guys tell me in the chat box? Who is this gentleman, Muhammad Muizzu? Muizzu. Interesting name. Then we have the PM Internship Scheme. This is a new scheme which was recently launched on 3rd of October. We'll talk about this scheme in detail. This is important. And in the sample paper also, we have seen a few questions based on schemes. So we'll do this in detail. Then we have an editorial article from the newspaper, which is regarding the 3-tier war in West Asia. This is again the Iran-Israel conflict. We'll discuss that and then we'll do a little bit of vocabulary. Who's Mohammad Muizzu? President of Maldives, absolutely correct. He was recently elected as the president of Maldives and he was on a visit to India. Why was he on a visit to India? He's on a visit to India and he's going to meet Modiji on Monday. In fact, today. Today is Monday, yeah. Why is he meeting Mr. Modi? What is the purpose? The purpose is he's coming to ask for help and specifically financial help. Why financial help? Because Maldives is in a bit of a financial crisis. They have some loans for which they have to repay by 8th of October. They have to make a $25 million payment towards a $500 million debt. And the payment has to be made on 8th of October. So they need extra help, extra finances. And they have come to India after China has not shown a lot of interest in helping them. So, what do you guys think? Is India going to help Maldives? Yes or no? Are we going to help Maldives financially? Yes or no? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Yes, to seek support regarding the debt crisis. What is your take? Is India going to help Maldives financially? Okay, Sharve says yes, Riddhi says yes, Riddhi says yes. Most of you think yes. Mishika says maybe because it will increase our influence in the South China Sea region. Very valid reason. Okay, most of you think that yes, India is going to help. So, absolutely right. Guess India has. I was following the meeting, and recently, abhi आधे घंटे पहले, half an hour ago, we have received an update that India has pledged support to Maldives, and we are now extending a debt of $400 million to Maldives. This is like half an hour ago. This is the update. So, absolutely live breaking news for you in today's Hindu analysis. This would probably come in tomorrow's newspaper, but we know it already that India has extended $400 million to Maldives and also has given approval to a 30 billion INR currency swap agreement. So, currency swap agreement is made to, reduce the impact of fluctuation in currency prices, so that the country who is getting into this currency swap arrangement can have some more foreign reserves, which can again help their debt crisis, financial crisis. बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे करेंसी स्वैप एग्रीमेंट क्या होता है, बट दिस इज अ फाइनेंशियल tool to help a country if they have less foreign reserves of a particular currency. So we have given an approval for 30 billion INR. Remember, not dollars, 30 billion INR of bilateral currency swap agreement. I'll write this down as well on your screen. Currency swap and $400 million of loan assistance. This is what we have provided as of now. This is US dollars. And we are going to support them in every possible way. And the reason, there are multiple reasons actually. Why are we helping Maldives? You guys must be aware of the recent panga which we had with Maldives when uh, the president of Maldives made a certain statement, and then we urged our tourists to not go to Maldives and go to which place instead? Which was the place which we were developing as an alternative tourist hotspot for tourists who were going to Maldives, Indian tourists going to Maldives. Which place am I talking about? Which Indian place were we developing as an alternative to Maldives? Tell me in the chat box. तब तक मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि व्हाट आर द रीजंस फॉर इंडिया टू हेल्प मॉलडीव्स. मॉलडीव्स को चाहिए था $25 million का रीपेमेंट, which they had to do by 8th October. This is also something I'll write down. They had to repay $25 million against debt. Islamic bonds, they had taken Islamic bonds of $500 million, and they had to make a repayment of interest of $25 million by 8th of October, and for that they needed financial assistance from India. Now, Mohammed Muizzu was recently elected previous year itself, and Maldives as of now is facing a lot of financial crisis. When you talk about their debt to GDP ratio, that is hovering somewhere around 110%, which is definitely not ideal. Credit rating agencies have suggested that Maldives can move towards a financial crisis if this is the state which persists. And a situation like what happened with Sri Lanka can happen with Maldives as well. What is the ideal debt to GDP ratio? Can you guys tell me in the chat box? Yes, Lakshadweep is the right answer. No, it was not Andaman, it was Lakshadweep. What is an ideal debt to GDP ratio? People who are from the economics background, or if you would have read this somewhere, what is the ideal debt to GDP ratio in percentage? No idea? No guesses? It's usually said to be. So, what is your debt to GDP ratio? In very simple terms, if let's say your GDP is 100 rupees and you, let's say, have a debt of 110 rupees, then your debt to GDP ratio is 110%, right? So, ideally, it is said that 60% of debt to GDP ratio is a healthy number. And if you go beyond this, then you are putting your economy at a risk. Then financial risk increases. Credit rating agencies like Moody now, Modi is a credit rating agency. I hope you guys are aware. These agencies give ratings to particular countries and to particular financial institutions as to how risky a particular country's economic situation has become. So that is something which was happening, and India has now pledged this amount which I just told you. Now, what are the reasons why India has helped Maldives? There are multiple reasons. First is the strategic location of Maldives. Where is Maldives located? You guys know it on the map. Where is Maldives? Can you tell me in the chat box where is Maldives located? Let's see geography. Kiski strong hai. Below 77%. Okay. Where is Maldives located? Waiting for your responses, guys. In the Indian Ocean. That's correct. That's absolutely right. इंडियन ओशन में कहाँ पे? लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे, राइट हैंड साइड पे? अरेबियन सी वाली साइड पे या बे ऑफ बंगाल वाली साइड पे? On the western side or on the eastern side? South of Lakshadweep. That's correct. So that means on the western side, on the side of the Arabian Sea. No, they're not on the Bay, not on the Bay of Bengal side. On the Bay of Bengal side, you have your other Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Vietnam, all of those countries, Laos and all. But Maldives is an island which is on the western side. Should I show it to you on the map? Okay, I'll show it to you. Maldives. I'll also show why that is a strategic location for India. What is the capital of Maldives? Till I open the map, can you guys tell me the capital of Maldives? Yes, the capital is Male. So I'll share the map with you very quickly. Okay, see, this is India's southern tip. This is Sri Lanka. This is Lakshadweep. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit. This is the Lakshadweep Island. The capital is Kavaratti. Then you have your Maldives, which is exactly south of Lakshadweep. This is your Maldives group of islands. This is the capital, which is Male. And why is it strategically located? Let's zoom out a little bit to understand. Now, although Maldives had disappeared from the map, but you know that it is somewhere here. So this is an important trade route for India, not just for India, but for a lot of countries, a lot of South Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries as well. This is the route which connects us to the Middle East through the sea. So this becomes very important from a strategic point of view. Another reason is that China wants to exert its influence in the Indian Ocean region. There is a theory, this is a strategy which China is building, which is called the Pearl strategy, something like that, where they want to surround India from all the 3-4 sides and build their naval bases, their military bases all around islands situated near India, so that they can mobilize their naval forces, their submarines, and also take part in exploration activities in the Indian Ocean region. But India obviously does not want that, because it would firstly be a threat to us on a strategic basis and also on an economic basis, because why would we want China to capitalize resources in the Indian Ocean when we are also trying to do the same? So अभी recently भी इंडिया ने काफी सारे approvals लिए from the seabed organization to undertake explorations in the Indian Ocean region. So Maldives becomes a very important country, and अगर हम अभी Maldives की help नहीं करेंगे तो it might be possible that China increases their diplomacy with Maldives and they come out to help, and they use their strategy where they give extensive loans and take their ports or islands on a lease, which it does for a lot of countries. They take 99-year leases and then take control of their particular islands or particular ports. which is not something which we as a country want for us. So that is why we are also trying to help Maldives and build a good relationship with them, even though we had thoda sa lafda with Maldives a few months ago. Right. So that is one reason, that is strategic location. Another reason is we also have a cultural link with Maldives. Now, apart from the tourism influx which happens from India to Maldives, which drives a lot of economy for Maldives, Maldives ke approximately 10 to 20% of tourists are Indian. That is one thing. Apart from that, how do we have a cultural link with Maldives? Firstly, predominantly Muslim population, and India is also home to a lot. So that is one link. Another link is that Maldives is a center for Buddhism as well. So in the early days, when you talk about the 11th, 12th century, Buddhism was the principal religion in the Maldivian islands, and it still has a lot of significance in the country of Maldives. So the form of Buddhism which is practiced in Maldives, or which was practiced prevalent in Maldives, was the Vajrayana Buddhism. And you all know that India has very close ties to Buddhism. Buddhism was one of the religions which originated in the country of India. Where was Buddha born? Where was Buddhism originated? Can you guys tell me the birthplace of Gautam Buddha? The birthplace of Gautam Buddha, the place where he achieved nirvana, and the place where he spent his last days or passed away. I need all the three names. You should know these basic facts about Buddhism. इस टाइप के स्टैटिक जीके क्वेश्चंस कभी भी आ जाते हैं इन कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम, सो यू शुड बी नोइंग दीज थिंग्स. Okay, so that is one thing. Another thing is looking at regional stability. If Maldives is not stable, then we would have all the neighbors which are unstable in nature. Sri Lanka is unstable, Bangladesh is unstable, Myanmar is unstable, Pakistan is always unstable, Afghanistan is unstable. So it's good that we have at least some stable neighbors where we can expect mutual cooperation. And in the Indian Ocean region, we are able to maintain some peace and security without the influence of China. So India also has a neighborhood first policy, which we follow, where we try to help out our neighbors and try to maintain good relationships with our neighbors. And that is why you also see that we try to maintain good relationships with Nepal, even when Nepal shows an hostile attitude towards India. Because we know that if we do not maintain a good relationship with countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, this would backfire for us in multiple ways. And China, being a hostile neighbor, can further its diplomacy, and it can be disadvantageous to us as a country, right? So these are multiple reasons why we are helping Maldives as a country. Okay, Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, and Kushinagar are the answers. Some people have answered Lumbini as the birthplace, Bodh Gaya as enlightenment, and Kusinara bhi keh sakte ho. Kushinagar usually is what we say. So those are the three places associated with Buddhism. उसके अलावा और भी बहुत सारे places हैं, but these are the three basic ones which all of you should know. All right, so that is about this particular news piece. Let's move on to our next topic. This is all you need to know. Okay, I'll show you this topic on the newspaper as well before we proceed. Let's go to the newspaper. Here we go. Muizzu to meet Modi requests India's support over looming economic crisis. Maldivian president has said that he hoped that India would be ready to ease the Maldives burden. He is expected to seek a currency swap agreement and debt support, which both of these we have offered now. Any default in repayment of the rising external debt would spiral Maldives into a major crisis. So Hyderabad House mein these guys are meeting. Jaishankar ji is meeting Maldivian president here. And ये वो सारे numbers दिए हुए हैं. $114 million. They have to repay $1.5 billion in the next 2 years. $25 million is due on 8th of October. And Moody and Fitch have downgraded their ratings. All of those things which I already told you. GDP to debt ratio of 110%. Then, yeah, that's all. That's all you needed to know. Let's move back to our presentation and the next news for the day, which is PM Internship Scheme. Now, what is the PM Internship Scheme? Very interesting initiative. This was also announced in the budget this year, that skill-based internships will be provided to a lot of youth. What is the number of youth which we are targeting through this particular scheme? Do you guys know that? It's 1 crore youth professionals over the course of next 5 years who would be given internships by 500 companies. That is the target. See, the article says on October 3, without much fanfare, the Central London online portal. Under which ministry would this scheme operate? Can you guys tell me the name of the ministry? Which ministry would be responsible for the execution of this particular scheme? Tell me the name of the ministry in the chat box very quickly. No, it's not the education ministry. Wrong answer. Not the education ministry. Any other guesses? Any other guesses? Which ministry? No, it's not youth affairs either. It's not youth affairs, it's not education, it's MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Yes, Riddhi has given us the right answer. It's Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which would be overlooking this particular scheme. I'll give you all the details. Yes, Corporate Affairs is the right answer, Shiva. I'll give you all the details about how this scheme would pan out and how we are planning to execute this particular scheme. So, this scheme is a part of a 5 scheme package, which is going to impart skills to approximately 4.1 crore youth over the next 5 years. And for this particular scheme, we are targeting 1 crore youth. But overall, agar aap pucho, so that is 4.1 crore youths, which we want to upskill in the next 5 years through 5 different schemes. And this is one of them. And a pilot project of this scheme was recently launched on 3rd of October, where we would start with how many youth? You would be starting with 1.25 lakh youth who would be getting internships from companies starting in December. Specifically, 2nd December se ye scheme start hogi. We'll be starting on 2nd December. This would be a pilot project. You guys understand what is a pilot project, right? A demo run or a trial run, so that you understand how the scheme is working, what are the impacts, what are the loopholes which you need to plug in. So 1.25 lakh people would be getting internships under this pilot project. These would be paid internships. They would be also getting a stipend. What is the amount of the stipend? The amount is 4,500 rupees per month. This would be given by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the DBT. What is DBT? DBT is direct benefit transfer. So this would go right into their accounts. Apart from that, 500 rupees per month would be committed by the particular company which is giving the internship under their CSR initiatives. What is CSR? CSR is corporate social responsibility. So big corporations and big companies are required to do some social work, some work for the welfare of citizens, and that is called the corporate social responsibility scheme. And they have to spend a certain percentage of their revenues for CSR. Usually it's 1 to 2%. And under CSR, they would be providing 500 rupees per month to these particular interns who would be upskilled in different domains, different areas. Right? Apart from this, 6,000 rupees is another one-time sum which would be provided to these interns by the government itself. And they would also be getting insurance benefits under the different insurance schemes which are run by the government. Which are the 2 insurance schemes I'm talking about? I'm talking about PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and PM Suraksha Bima Yojana. I'll write them down. PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. And what is the other one? What is the other one? The other one is PM Suraksha Bima Yojana. PM Suraksha Bima Yojana. So these are the 2 insurance schemes which would also benefit these 1.25 lakh interns. And yeah, this internship would go on for a time period of 1 year. This would be a 1 year commitment by these particular interns. They would be trained for a time span of 1 year by these 500 companies who would be recruiting these interns, giving them stipend, all of that. अब इसके अलावा what you guys need to know, the eligibility of the scheme. Who all would be eligible for this particular scheme? So the eligibility goes like candidates who are between 21 to 24 years of age, who are not engaged in a full-time employment. That means either they are unemployed or they are working in a part-time employee capacity. They would be eligible for this 1 year internship program. Remember the age limit, it's 21 to 24 years, and people who are not under full-time employment. That is one criteria. What are the other criteria? Other criteria are you have to be someone who has passed 10th grade or higher. So you have to be 10th pass or higher. That is another criteria under the PM internship scheme. There are more criteria. Another criteria is you should not be someone who is from a family which has a government job. So individuals from families with government jobs are also included. So अगर आपके family में immediate family में someone is having a government job, then you would not be getting the benefit of the scheme. Also, this is not available for postgraduates. So if you're someone who has the master's degree, that is, you are a postgraduate, then you are also not eligible for this particular scheme. Apart from that, individuals who have done their graduation from top institutes, premier institutes like IITs, IIMs, IISCs, and people who are CAs, CMAs by qualification. Basically, people who are very qualified by their degree, IITs ho gaye, IIMs ho gaye. NLUs are not explicitly mentioned, but I am guessing NLUs would also be a part of this. CAs ho gaye, CMAs ho gaye, people from IISCs ho gaye. These graduates are also not eligible for this particular internship program. Essentially, this is targeting people who are not getting employment on their own, who are not skilled enough, who are ready to work but are not getting opportunities, not getting any avenues where they can learn, where they can upskill, or where they can contribute to the workforce. And lastly, another eligibility criteria is you should not be a person who has a family household income of more than 8 lakhs. So your family household income should be less than 8 lakhs. So what are different eligibility criteria? I mentioned one is income, one is not being from premier institutes, one is not having a PG degree, one is being 10th pass or higher, one is your family not having a government job, and one is you not being engaged in a full-time employment. So these are 5 6 criteria which you have to satisfy if you want to be eligible for the PM internship scheme. Okay, yeah, that's all. This is all you need to know. Most of these internship schemes would be related to the manufacturing sector, so that we can get a trained workforce over the course of 1 year, and these guys can be employed as full-time employees in companies. So this is to bridge the gap between people who are willing to work but are untrained or unskilled. Is this clear to everyone? I hope the PM internship scheme is clear to everyone. It's not very complicated, pretty simple. Should we move on to the next topic? Okay, let's go. Now, the next topic is something which we have been discussing time and again. This is related to a three-tier war in West Asia with no end game. What is a three-tier war? What do we mean by a three-tier war in West Asia with no end game? Firstly, we are talking about the Iran, Israel, and the Gaza Hamas conflict, of course. So, how is this a three-tier war? What are the three tiers which we are talking about? What is the three things which Israel is looking at when you talk about the West Asia related war? Now, to understand this, firstly, we need to have some context. The context of the development of the IMEC. What is the IMEC? IMEC was something which was announced in the G20 summit by Joe Biden, where they wanted to connect India with Europe through a corridor called IMEC. Can you guys tell me the full form of IMEC? What is IMEC? What am I talking about? I need the full form of IMEC. What is IMEC? Middle East Europe Economic Corridor. Absolutely correct. So these guys want to build a corridor which connects India to Europe, and in the middle, it also connects the Middle East. And this would pass through Israel as well. This has multiple touch points. This firstly starts with Mumbai, then goes to UAE through a sea route. UAE, maybe this there's a port called Jabal Ali. वहाँ पे it ends. Then a rail network starts, which goes through Saudi Arabia, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and then goes on till the end of Saudi Arabia, which is a point called Al Haditha. Al Haditha se again route starts, which goes on to a place called Haifa in Israel. And Israel में Haifa से लेके there's a place in Greece called Piraeus. वहाँ पे this ends. So this is one initiative which the US wants to fulfill, which Israel also wants to fulfill in order to counter multiple things. One is countering the presence of Iran in the Middle East, another is countering the presence of China. And China's counterpart initiative is what? What is another, I would say, corridor which China is building for enhancing its trade route capacities and trade route capabilities, connecting Middle East, connecting Asia to China? Can you tell the name of the initiative? Which initiative I'm talking about? Silk Road. Okay, not exactly. Silk Road is a part of it. Yes, through Pakistan. That initiative passes through Pakistan. It's called the Belt and Road Initiative. Belt and Road Initiative, BRI initiative. And that is something which China is aggressively developing. And to counter that, US and Israel and Middle East and India are coming up with the IMEC. Now, what is the significance of IMEC for Israel? Israel also wants to counter the presence of Iran. And US is also anti-Iran. So US wants to bring the Arabs and the Israelis together. US wants to reduce tension between the Sunni Arabs and the Israeli Jews. And for that, it has taken multiple steps, and IMEC is one of them. Now, when you talk of Israel, what are Israel's objectives in this whole West Asia context? Israel has multiple objectives. So, according to this article, it says that at the bottom tier, there are three tiers to it. There is the bottom tier, then there's the middle tier, and then there's the top tier. At the bottom tier, they are saying that Israel wants to go full force against Gaza and destroy Hamas and secure the release of its hostages. That is the bottom tier of its West Asia strategy. In the middle tier, it wants to push Hezbollah from the border regions of Lebanon and stop the Shia militia groups which are being funded by Iran, so that Israel can get control over that particular region and the Israeli residents who are displaced in those regions can come back to their homes. And lastly, at the top, it wants to weaken Iran, which is its main regional rival. And Iran is also serving as someone which is funding a lot of terrorist groups and organizations, militias, through monetary aid. This doctrine against Iran is called the octopus strategy. Why is it called the octopus strategy? This is a keyword which is mentioned multiple times in articles related to geopolitics of Iran and Israel. Why is this called the octopus militia strategy or octopus propaganda or octopus doctrine against Iran? Because Iran is looked at by Israel as an octopus which has a head. The Iran as a country is a head, and then it has its 8 legs which are spread in different countries, be it Houthis from Yemen, be it your Hezbollah from Lebanon. So all of these are its arms, all of these are its legs keh lo ya arms keh lo, jo bhi octopus ke. And these 8 different militias groups which are funded and controlled by Iran. So Israel wants to attack the head of the octopus. What is the head of the octopus? It is Iran as a country. And once it kills the head of the octopus would obviously die, and the funding for these militia groups would definitely stop. So that is what the article is talking to you about. Let's go to the newspaper. Let's look at the article. But that is the gist which I just told you. This is the 3-tier strategy. First is destroying Hamas, then taking the displaced people to their own hometowns in Israel, and then removing Iran as a power in Middle East. See, look at the article. A 3-tier war in West Asia with no end game. Now they're talking about how US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan wrote, Middle East remains beset with perennial challenges, etc., etc., de-escalated crisis in Gaza. Also, today, 7th of October, it marks 1 year for 1 year of the attack which happened by Hamas on Israel. So that is why this article has been mentioned in today's newspaper. There are two narratives. Israel believed that it has established a new status quo, occupation without consequences. Arab believed that Palestine issue had lost its currency so that they could go ahead with formalizing decades. And उस वजह से ही उन्होंने they launched that particular attack 1 year ago so that they can revive this particular narrative. But Israel has a different narrative. It has always sought to de-link Palestinian militarism from its occupation of the Palestinian territories. Before 7 October, Israel had been treating Palestinian violence as a security nuisance. But Hamas attack के बाद, the first large-scale one after 1948, the narrative has shifted and Israel is now fighting an existential war against terror. Israel marched to Gaza with fire and fury. In the past 12 months, Israel Defense Forces have killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and injured nearly 1 lakh Palestinians. Whole population of Gaza has been displaced. Now, Octopus Doctrine, I have already explained it to you. What is the Octopus Doctrine? Onslaught of Gaza began. Hezbollah, Iran backed Lebanese group, opened the support front. Then three-tier regional war in West Asia. Three objectives. Collective for its strategy to alter the balance of power. What are the three tiers? At the bottom tier, Israel went to Gaza with two objectives: to destroy Hamas and release hostages. In middle, it wants to push Hezbollah from the border of Lebanon and stop the Shia militia. Then at the top, it wants to weaken Iran at its regional level. Israel sees the conflict as, former Prime Minister said, a war against a rival octopus. Iran is the head of the octopus, and the militias, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, Hashad al-Shabi, are the tentacles. In the three-tier war, Israel wants to destroy or degrade the tentacles and weaken the octopus and thereby reshape West Asia. Is this an achievable goal, etc., etc., is mentioned. Then you have the Iran question, the third problem, that IDF has great firepower and Israel has proved that in the past, but is it capable to counter Iran as a country? This is a conflict loop where no side is deterring its rival. So दोनों तरफ से attacks होते जा रहे हैं, heat बढ़ती जा रही है, conflict बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, and let's see where it goes. अभी तो situation is काफी ज़्यादा intense. दोनों तरफ से firing, बमबारी चले ही जा रही है every day. And recently, a lot of missiles were launched by Iran over Israel, and Israel would retaliate very soon. That is the speculation. Let's see what happens. That is what is mentioned in the article. So let's take a quick glance of the newspaper as well before we conclude today's session. Let's see if we missed anything which is important for you. This is all politics related news. Everything politics, politics, politics. Then editorial, we have done this one. This is not important. This is related to Maoists. Then this is also not important. Gurmeet Ram Rahim. Then this we have done. PM inter. What else is there? Maharashtra populist gamble, not important. 100 days completed. Okay. This is also related to upskilling. We have discussed this. Voting trends in JNK, not important for us. Status of civil war in Sudan. Now, this is an entire topic in itself. It would take an entire video to explain what is the context of this particular topic. But do read this topic if you get some time. Do understand the situation of the civil war in Sudan. Let's take this up in a separate video or a separate short. I would be making something on this very soon. Okay, what else is there? Telegram, we have discussed how it has changed its stance on content moderation policy. The CEO has agreed that they would make changes to the privacy policy to control illegal activities, terrorist activities, child abuse activities on the platform. So that is that. And Mithun Chakrabarti got the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. This we have discussed. Okay, these are again politics related news. An air show happened. IAF planes conducted this air show. 15 lakh people watched it. 5 people also died in this particular air show. Dhakka Mukki mein. This happened in Chennai. Then Haryana elections are going on. Kejriwal is making statements. Okay. What else is there? Trekkers rescued from Himalaya. Not important for us. Okay. Tunisians vote with Kais Saied to be re-elected president. Let's see, let the verdict come. We'll talk about this. Then Iran's Quds Force chief. Okay, okay. Indian women cricket team defeated the Pakistani team yesterday. Good match. Then our men's team also defeated Bangladesh in the T20 match. That was an easy win. Hardik Pandya played a very nice shot. Doesn't seem to be, we don't seem to have anything which is missing or something which we should cover in detail. So that brings us to the end of today's Hindu analysis. Let's come back to our presentation and do our vocabulary for the day. The first word for the day is hobnobbed. Hobnobbed means mixed socially, especially with those of higher social strata or status. Synonyms are associate, mix, fraternize. He was often seen hobnobbing with influential business people. So hobnobbed is that. Then you have the second word, which is surmised, which means suppose that something is true without having evidence to confirm it, which is guessing something, making a conjecture, suspecting something. From his letter, I surmised that he was unhappy. So this basically making an assumption without evidence. Then you have a third word, which is evanescent. Evanescent means something which is soon passing out of sight, memory, or existence, quickly fading or disappearing. Talk is evanescent, but writing leaves footprints is a sentence. And if you do not revise current affairs, they would also become evanescent in your memory. So that is something which you can relate to. Vanishing, fading, fleeting are synonyms. Endless, eternal, everlasting are antonyms. The first word is evanescent, the second word is surmised, which is assuming without evidence, and the third word is hobnobbed, which is mixing with people of higher social status. And that brings us to the end of today's Hindu analysis. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you for participating. Keep learning, keep preparing. Have a very fantastic week ahead. And I'll see you again tomorrow in another Hindu analysis and a Menti quiz. The Menti quiz tomorrow is going to cover the month of April. Make sure you prepare well for it, and we'll have moderate, easy to moderate level of questions. Make sure you are well prepared. April would be the syllabus for tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 4:30 p.m. Tata, bye bye, take care. Signing off.